The following program is paid for by Mariette F. Kammerer, who is solely responsible for its contents. This is LifeTalk, where we tell it like it is. LifeTalk is motivational, helping you get to the next level in life. LifeTalk is educational, to broaden your knowledge. LifeTalk is inspirational, to get you fine-tuned to start doing what you love doing. LifeTalk, sponsored by kmareducation.org. And here is your host, Mariette October.
Welcome to Life Talk with Mariette. I am Mariette. Goeie avond, guten Abend, good evening to New Zealand, Canada, the Netherlands, Germany, the Philippines, and the USA, and to everybody around the globe. Thank you for being with us tonight. New York, Long Island, Connecticut. Had a little bit of a technical difficulties. We apologize. We have our very special guest on tonight, not via Skype, but we're trying it via phone to a microphone, so everything should be fine. Our topic, illusion or love, the path to self-discovery and journey to connect with others and maybe fall in love again. That's our topic tonight. So, are 90 days enough time to make a commitment for life? What inner knowledge and awareness should we have to make that decision to save us from a train wreck and pains lasting sometimes a lifetime? So in tonight's discussion, we're looking at relationships and compatibility, self-awareness, and self-management. Here in the studio, my longtime friends and contributors, Dr. Rich Gillick and Jim Alfieri. Good evening, guys and boys and girls.
Good evening.
Good Abend. Anyway, so this program was sponsored by kmareducation.org. And let me get right to the point. Our very special guest tonight is Jesse Meester. He is an accomplished international entrepreneur. Jesse built an award-winning fitness company in Amsterdam called MeesterPT.com. Jesse is a degreed professional in mind-body psychology, working with clients worldwide, changing lives. He is the owner of a coffee company, a model, actor, and a world traveler. Because he never sleeps. That's why. And we know of him. We see him on TLC television series 90 Day Fiancé, a man who brings entertainment into our living rooms, but with very clear ideas what he wants and what he will not tolerate in a relationship. Always keeping it real. So, we're getting to know and learn about Jesse's work, the man from Amsterdam, joining us live today on the telephone. Good evening, Jesse. How are you?
Good evening. Well, good night, actually. It's 1:15 a.m., but I'm really happy to be here. And, thank you for having me, Mariette. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Jesse, the night's just starting for you. I guess it's 1:30 in the morning. That means you're up and ready to go, right?
We don't sleep in New York, right? We just keep going.
That's right.
No, I just had a live performance for Halloween. You just mentioned the acting. So I just, finished, and I literally just slipped into this, amazing radio with you. So I'm excited, and it's a great topic. There's a lot to discuss.
Jesse, personal awareness and personal growth has not been taught necessarily in schools. So generations to generation have passed on their experiences and beliefs and have repeated the same old patterns. So good, indifferent, or dysfunctional. So we either listened or we ignored advice. Maybe we didn't want to, or it was not to our liking. So the time is now to take on responsibility for self and learn to be self-sufficient in mind, body, and emotions. So let's start with the health and work management.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and the reason why I signed up for this World TV program, and I will not get too much in depth about it, is mainly because I was talked into it, but also that I was like, hey, this could be an opportunity to inspire and spark others in something that could be potentially really beautiful. And you never know, really, because you fall into love. And I think the English expression of falling in love is very significant. And, sitting here now, I just want to share some thoughts, on my experience working with, Maester PT, but just, life, really. And it's not age bound, or it's not like, it's really about like, hey, what did you experience yourself, throughout the years? And we talked about this earlier before the show. And what I feel is that some people are, whatever their age is, are in love with the idea of it, just to have someone tell you nice things and make you feel better. You want someone to take care of you because you can't do it yourself. You just want someone to love you so you can boost your own ego and feel better about yourself. You want something to talk about with your friends. You want someone to make you feel important because deep inside you feel empty. And a lot of people just don't want to be alone. The idea of, being alone is scary. So out of a very ungrounded and hysterical place, if you will, some seek for love instead of a place of self-love and grounded love, where you are fully aware of who you are and what you want in life, instead of seeking it elsewhere.
Right. Now, Now, Jesse, you are a fitness professional. You're degreed in mind, body, and psychology. So, the point I want to make tonight to our listeners, that we should start at a very early age to teach responsibility, about self. I know we have the mother and father and all the family members, and the child just slides through, and before you know, they're college age and they still don't know anything. And they certainly have not learned responsibility. So I want to get your thoughts on that, because that is so important. Without learning at an early age to be responsible, how can they function in life? That's what I want to focus on in this first segment.
Yeah, no, this is so important, and most issues with the self are rooted in childhood, growing up in a dysfunctional family, or having no father, or divorce, which creates like an unstable environment for the child that's growing up, which results in dysfunctional love later on. And when it's still a lot of things, because that's the plasticity of the brain, which is so amazing. We it's written in psychology literature. It's amazing. A lot of it can be solved. A lot of with plasticity of the brain can be recovered. But what we often see is when we enter adulthood, just like it wasn't so long ago for me, we are just getting more and more responsibilities, and things might happen, traumatic experiences, which build up and build up and build up. And then you have people who are living in a little bubble, if you will. And to clarify that, with that I mean, people that never really go out there, they don't really work, or always complain, and have not really tasted life, have not really failed yet, have not really got out there and develop the self, because that's what it's really about. And that's at the same time, I'm so grateful that my mom, when I was 16, said, "Hey Jesse, hey, I'm a single mom, and you gotta do this, young man. You gotta embrace life." And I was 16. I just graduated high school, and I knew I wanted to be part of the Spec Ops military, and I went all in. But I knew at that time I just was still like a teenage boy, and it was scary. It was really scary. But I knew that developed me to the man I am right now. If I would have been sitting on my ass, and pardon my language, if I would have done that, I would have not been where I am now. So I owe this to the decision that my mom made at that age.
But Jesse, I understand that your mom said, "Hey, get off your buns," but you had to still develop a drive, and that's not something that develops overnight. So that drive, really, how was it activated? I know about drive because I have a drive, and not everybody does.
Drive.
Huh?
It's not about drive.
Oh.
It's about having no other choice.
Okay.
So your back was against the wall?
You need to dig deep down into, what is this existence really about? Uh-huh. When you get to the core of your own being, you realize, hey, it's either this or I'm a failure. Like, or I'm going to be on the streets. So I've been there. I had like two choices. So when you only have two choices, you don't need drive. You are driven by life itself.
Thank you. No, it makes sense what you're saying. Thank you. I just learned something. Yeah. Yes, the challenge, Jim just said. You're right. You're totally right, Jesse. Yep. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm sorry.
So to me, and I failed. I feel big, I was like, oh my God, I don't know I still don't know anything, but I do know from my experience that really developed a lot, not so much psychological literature, that structured certain things for me, but more so just, trying, doing things. And, that's really wrong with our society right now. We teach our generation that it's not okay to fail. And I'm more on the side of that it's okay to fail, and please do so, and please make mistakes, and please go all in, because it's really one life. And I've seen best friends of mine, whether it was in the military or just here, pass away on a very young age. And I'm like, hey, I just gotta squeeze every single bit out of life. And I mean that in a way where I'm like, hey, the people that follow me, that see something in me, they spark me in the same way as I do for them. And that, with being real and with being authentic and with, vulnerability and daring to be vulnerable, you really structure yourself. You develop yourself. And sometimes that means that you gotta really, really, go, back to where you came from. You know what I mean? Fall flat on your face, literally. And start all over again, especially in entrepreneurship. You know all about this, Mariette.
I do. It's been 35 years for me.
Yeah.
Learning hello, my name is, and learning to deal with rejections. That was the biggest thing, rejections, but also be very creative. It's also about seeing opportunities. This is something you got to be able to see. But a person that works from 9 to 5 and they only work in a certain area, even though they would have wonderful skills, and everybody has wonderful skills and talents, but they don't get to use it every day in their work. So they only use 2 or 3 shores, and they never try anything. So they're at work, they're unhappy, it affects their health. They have chronic pains, and then depression sets in, and you know the rest. We all know the rest. It's a very sad thing. So I'm very much for encouraging people to take the chance and try something new. Try something new, even if you fail. But if they have professionals like us, we can guide them. We won't let them fail if they do exactly what we ask of them. That's the main key. That's the main thing. So, and I have found with a lot of my clients, some really totally have the endurance. Because I hold them and I bring them over to the area where they want to be, where they have already lost. Oh no, it's not going to happen. I said we have to make one more corner, one more turn. We have to do. And then we're there. And I have a track record of clients how I have helped them, where they have said, "Oh well, they had already given up." And you know what? I brought them around the corner, and sure enough, it was there. The next opportunity that they needed, and somebody else had to take over. And this is what it's all about. Jim is what is it? Do you have a question, right?
I do have a question, but you've got to bring the phone over so Jesse can hear me. Jesse, it's Jim.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Are you an only child, Jesse?
No, I have a half brother.
And is he in Amsterdam with you?
He lives in another city.
Okay.
He's about 10 years older than me.
Are you two pretty close?
Yeah, we're good. Well, I wouldn't say close. We're both really busy.
Yeah.
But, we see each other on holidays.
So the military sounds like what you're saying is that at the age of 16, you had the choice of going into the military. It sounds like that must have been a very positive experience for you.
That is correct. Well, basically at 16, I had the choice to do anything I want.
Yeah.
I had the choice to, go work in a store or, go to college. But I knew this was something I wanted to pursue. And did it help me to, structure the self? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with the discipline and with the maturity and, with the level of consciousness that you get from there. But it all came from failure. It all came from, the willingness to grow and to, be vulnerable to not just yourself, because that's where it starts with, but to all the other people that, might witness that, which are your, brothers in arms, or your family. Be open to them. Share with them your experience and what you're struggling with. Mm-hmm. Because these people who are close to you are the ones that can really, connect and help.
Yeah, well, I have a question for you, Mariette.
Okay.
What prompted you to do the show with Jesse?
That's a very good question. And before we go...
Oh, could I just say Hoyen Kanavend?
Is he saying this right, Jesse? Good evening in Dutch?
Yeah, well, you're doing fine, sir. Yeah, it's goedenavond.
Goedenavond. That was my second guess.
Fine, I like that.
Jesse, that was my second guess.
Oh, you guys are in Connecticut, right?
We're in Connecticut, yes.
I love that. I miss Connecticut so much, guys. It's
okay,
beautiful.
Now before we go to the relationship and compatibility segment, we're going to take a break, but Rich has a question for me, which I like to answer, Jesse. And my audience probably wonders. I've been watching the TLC TV show for months now. I enjoy it, and especially Jesse's segment. And it wasn't until about 3 weeks ago where I'm seeing certain encounters, and it reminded me of my own marriage that I had 30 years ago. I was married within 120 days. It was a train wreck, and it lasted for 15 years inside of me, what could have been. And I said, oh my God. And I said, this young man, Jesse I'm talking about, keeps saying, well, if we worked on ourselves, we would have a chance. And I took that very serious. And I said, you know what? If I had known this 30 years ago when I was a young woman, I was still, on my life path, didn't have much life experience. I said, that's something I want to talk to him about, because we can help a lot of people with the experience, the generation. I'm getting ahead of myself now mentally. Jesse's generation, our young generation, needs to know all the pitfalls that we have done. And it takes people that have the intellect and the caring. Sorry, I'm screaming into the microphone. And this, I saw my own life story on the screen, and I said, oh my God, we got together for love, and because of bad behavior that we picked up when we were little, bad behavior that we saw from somebody, maybe in a family structure, a dysfunctional family, whatever. I said, I got to bring this out on the table. And this is what made me contact Jesse. I contacted him. He was open for a discussion on personal growth. I liked what he had to say. Very respectful. I have for 2 weeks now, I've been watching his communication on social media, how he treats his fans, how he treats people that approach him. And I have seen nothing but the best. Everybody is treated with respect and kindness. I have to say that. And where a lot of people say, well, how would you know? Well, I studied it. I have other things to do besides studying that. But I wanted to know for myself. I wanted to know who I was dealing with. So I don't want to go to Hollywood. I don't, whatever. And I said to Jesse, if we could have an interview, and also if you're going in the direction of personal growth, you can help a lot of people. You can help parents as well as the young people, because us young people, we need role models. We have different role models 30, 40, 50 years ago when we grew up, right, Rich?
Yes.
Yeah? Rich, you can say something, right? Same here with, we're sitting very close, so we make sure we can be heard and people can hear you. But this is how I see you. So it was my own television, what was portrayed on that television, that I said, oh my God, they're doing my life story. And I take that very serious.
We're going to have a new show, the 120 Day.
No, I don't want to do that. No, it's just too serious. The thing is just too serious, because people, and we get into that when we talk about the relationships. It's intense. Yeah. So we get into that when we talk about the compatibility and relationships, because if we can give from our experiences, we change what we know.
If they're willing to listen.
Well, and I have an issue about that, because I'm 65. I've been through a lot of it. Mariette, you are who you are today as a result of your successes and your failures. Jesse is a product of his successes and failures. And it's very convenient and very easy to try to talk to a 16-year-old and give them your sage advice, but that doesn't mean that it will resonate with people in their teens or in their early 20s. So a lot of what Jesse, I think, Jesse, you're fortunate that you, by the way, Jesse, can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine. Thank you.
I think you're fortunate that you've been able to grasp certain principles on the acceptance and kind of recognizing growth and recognizing that you need to fail to go forward. You need to take a step back, sometimes 2 steps back to go 1 step forward, and it's a process. And if you're fortunate enough, you can achieve a point in life where you're pretty content with yourself, where you're pretty content with meeting other people and accepting other people the way they are, in a way that you don't have, that one does not constantly judge someone. But listen, I've seen people my age that are as insecure and as unstable as people were when they were in their 15, 16, 17, and they were learning. So sometimes people never learn. They may not want to learn, or they may be exposed to certain things in life that might be, might be too heavy or might be too overbearing, and as a result, they never really get the hang of it. So it's nice to give advice. And Mariette, like I said, you were who you were when you first started out, but you kept pushing forward, and now you can see.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that's
I think
confidence.
it's useless to say, "Gee, I wish I thought that way when I was 20," because you didn't, and it's unrealistic to think that way.
Yeah. Folks, we have to go for a break. I see the engineer waving at me. So
can I respond to Richard after the break?
how about a little cup of coffee for you, Jesse? And for our audience, we're going to go for a quick break. It's going to be a short break. I promise we'll be right back with Jesse Meister. This is Mariette. Thank you for tuning in to Life Talk with Mariette on WICC 600.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text TRY to 350-350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text TRY to 350-350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's TRY to 350-350.
At our house, nights are complicated. Either my wife is freezing or I'm roasting. Hi, I'm Scott Tannen, founder of Boll & Branch, makers of the world's most comfortable sheets, loved by 3 U.S. presidents. For a limited time, our unbelievably soft, warm, and breathable flannel bedding is back. They come in 14 stunning patterns and colors. You're sure to find something you love. Go to bollandbranch.com for $50 off plus free shipping with promo code RELIEF. bollandbranch.com. Promo code RELIEF.
Refreshingly crisp days and cool nights. Our favorite time of year is here. At thecompanystore.com, our thoughts are turning to the comforts of home, like soft flannel sheets, lofty down comforters, fluffy towels, and cozy sleepwear. And with thecompanystore.com Friends and Family event going on now, you enjoy free shipping and 25% off your next order. There's no better time to shop. Visit thecompanystore.com and enter Family18 at checkout for 25% off, plus free shipping. From our family to yours, thecompanystore.com.
And we're back from a break. Thank you for tuning in to Life Talk with Mariette. I am Mariette, here in the studio with my friends Jim Alfieri and Dr. Rich Gillick. We have pretty much the half of the globe is listening to us tonight because we have a very special guest, Jesse Messer. He's known from the 90 Day Fiancé, and of course we get to know him and his thoughts tonight. I just want to take the opportunity to say hello to Murray Dennis in New Zealand. I didn't forget about you, so I hope all is well. So, and let's go straight into the relationship part, Jesse.
He was going to react to something.
Oh, yes, thank you for reminding me. Okay, very good.
I just wanted to reply to Jim real quick before the break.
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you for...
Go ahead.
So, Jim, you made some great points. When you give advice, you have some people that will never take the advice. They just, gotta feel it again, and then they still don't get it. I know those people firsthand. You've seen it. It's no joke. But there's more to it with these people. It's either a certain intellect that's missing, or they're having some kind of other problem. Whether that's an addiction or bipolar, that creates certain defense mechanisms in the brain for it to be like, it's not me, it's not my problem, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, Jesse, that's a level of maturity, though, right?
Is it on?
You know what I mean? So there's never, with this thought pattern, there's never personal growth, and I think that stems from what you were saying earlier about people not taking advice.
Isn't that maturity, Jesse? Isn't that a level of maturity that you...
Yeah, well, in a sense that is, but someone who has a psychological disorder is in somewhat not capable to have that self-fulfilling prophecy that you and I might have.
Yeah, well, but then, as you know well, in life, you're going to meet people that you will get along with, and you're going to meet people that you won't. And I think you learn to stay away from the people that don't complement perhaps your way of life, and if it's a relationship kind of a thing. Obviously, if you're going to build a solid relationship, you want to spend time with someone where you kind of share similar values. Mm-hmm. And even that can change. I was married for 22 years. My wife was my best friend. My wife was my best friend for 15 years. And we both kind of allowed it to fizzle. So we both were at fault. I was probably more at fault than she was. But for the first 15 years, we were on the same page, at least so I thought. So life changes, people change, values change, but like you, I think I read something that you had written on Instagram, which I thought was very good, where it's so important as an individual to feel comfortable with yourself, to feel comfortable and confident in what you believe in.
I was going to get to that. Get to that because I think it's just very important to ask questions. And to know how somebody was raised. Let's see, Jim, I get to meet you, Jim. If I could use you as an example, Jim. I want to know how you were raised and in what environment you grew up and what connection you had to your mother and father, because if you had a bad connection to your mother, most likely, if you haven't learned, you would treat women not very kind. But if you have a good connection to your mother, and I know Jesse has a good connection. I saw the Mother's Day, which you wrote about your mom. I have it right in front of me, but I won't be able to read it right this minute. So I had not a very good connection with my father. I had a love-hate relationship to my father. But what I did, as I grew up, I looked for a man just like my father, somebody who was very dominant. And here's what happened. I left the house very early in my life because I just couldn't stand his dominance. And as I got, as I walked in life, all of the men were dominant people. And we were on the battlefield all the time. So that's what it was. So it's about looking back. Who did you have a healthy relationship with? And if we didn't, we have to work on ourselves because those are the pains that we carry inside of us. And we let it out on somebody who we just meet and we really love them. And then the daily living starts. And that's when we let it out on the behavior and on little stuff.
Can I make a point?
Wait a minute. This is what I learned. So unless you take time on your own journey and you get to know how you think, what you like, and you deal with the pains that were caused from the childhood, you have a chance. And you focus in on your own capabilities, on your talents and skills. That's what I did for 25 years now by choice. And you know what? You won't make the same mistake. I love my father. I really do. And I can deal with a person who's dominant very, very nicely today. Because you know what? That person doesn't set me off, whether it's a man or a woman, because I'm dominant too. But I have learned a lot. The soft side in me and the dominant side when I need to take care of things. When I need to move mountains, I need the dominant side. So 30 years ago, I killed it because I didn't know better. I fought really against my father. And in reality, I fought against the mate who I got together with for love. And I loved him. But, as time went on, my father is not really the person I should be looking for, but there has to be drive and some dominance in it, many other seasonings, so if you will. So I know who is compatible with me today. I know that. And, it has to be somebody who has achievements as well. So now, Jim, it's your turn.
Jesse, that was pretty good. She didn't even take a breath.
Don't make fun of me.
I like it.
What do you think about what she said, Jess?
It's amazing, because and that's what I appreciate and respect in Mariette so much that throughout that time, and I think you can resonate with that, because I haven't been there, I haven't been married. So
have you been in love?
Hear you guys and obviously the clients I work with, they are married or they're divorced. So again, there's a lot of experience, and our existence has been nurtured by making a bond, a partnership, or a bondage, depending upon how we conduct it.
Bondage, I like that.
To make yourself feel whole in a way.
Jesse, have you been in love then?
Partnerships have this nature. They are made because by yourself, alone, you would feel insufficient, incomplete. But that's not how life, should be. The life you have is the complete life process itself. And you can't love someone if you are not complete. You have to love yourself first before you can love someone else. Yeah. And my mistake was that I thought as a young adult, who grew up fast, if you will, to find that, an older woman might be, on the same emotional, stable level or, similar maturity or, instead of someone my age in their 20s that's still really trying to figure out who they are. Well, I really came to realize at that point that age doesn't mean anything, really. It's really the life in years that matters, and the person that's in front of me that I care about. So, in closing, you can't live with someone just because they make you feel good about yourself. You only make yourself feel good or bad about yourself. And this is what Mariette said with responsibility. The responsibility is always on your own self. And Jim, this is why I loved when you said, I probably take more blame, in that process when you were married, than my ex-wife. Like, it takes a lot to say that, and I respect that.
Well, because I'm truthful. Now, one thing that Marietta said that I want to make a point about that I think is very important. One could be raised in a horrible situation with an abusive father or a alcoholism, and that parent, when they turn around and have kids, could end up projecting the same failures that they received. But I've also met people that have said, I'm going to be a different parent. I'm not going to be the parent that I wish I had. I'm going to take care of my kids the way I wish I was taken care of when I had grown up. So you can have two very unhealthy situations and still have someone handle it in a manner where they handle it constructively and on the growth path that you talk about. I think Rich wants to get a question in. Rich,
No, I was just wondering about
Rich wanted to know if you'd ever been in love before.
Oh yeah, many times. I love, falling in love. It's like I said in the beginning. The most significant thing.
Yeah, but is that chemistry?
Is that vocabulary? Honestly,
is that pheromones?
And that's also the reason why it hurts so much.
Yeah, is that pheromones though, or is that lust or chemistry? What is that, Jesse? I mean, I love falling in love myself, but it doesn't usually last too long.
If you look into it, it's chemistry. It's really chemistry that's happening with a lot of hormones and stuff, and you kind of like lose a little bit of yourself. People say, "Oh, never change. You never change, or never change for a man or a woman." Yeah, of course you should always remain yourself. But like you said earlier, you develop your own character. And when you are bonding with someone, you do change.
And you know what
Yeah.
You know what I like to say? 120 days are just not enough time. It was fine at 30 years ago when I didn't have the life experience. Today, I don't think I would do 120 days. I would go much, much longer, even though I know myself. But today I would have questions. What do I give up? And can I still remain and do the kind of things that I want to do, and not having an understanding partner who maybe does the same thing, and then we don't have to worry about it. But 120 days and getting married then is just not.
The budget's for 90 days.
No, it's true.
I don't think it's enough time.
It's not enough time. And you've never been married, right, Rich?
Praise God.
Oh, geez. No. That's whole nother story. Anyway, Jesse, we're almost out of time here. We have about 2 minutes left. So I want to thank you very, very much, even though we had technical difficulties. I hope our audience was able to hear you, and I really appreciate your time because it's already almost 2 o'clock. Yeah, it's just about 2 o'clock.
Yeah, he was very accommodating.
I can do another hour. It's just amazing. Like, I love this topic.
No, Jim is sitting on my lap.
So
I don't think I can take another hour. Jim sitting next to me.
Show the world that it's not bad or rude to confront. If we look into research, and I'm gonna keep this quick. Don't worry about it. If we look at the research, being the over sentimental therapist, like, oh, you're so sad, and yeah, you're a victim, and yeah, there's nothing wrong with you, and it's all gonna be fine. That doesn't work. We need to be confronting ourselves, and sometimes we need to be really brutally honest with the person that, you know, we're with. And, you know, that is out of a place of love to come to a better place. Because if you love a flower, you know, you don't pluck it. You just water it so it can bloom into something more beautiful. And if you don't, it's just going to die and seize away.
Yeah.
Know what kind of person you are, your weaknesses, your flaws. Be willing to, you know, embrace them and be the best person you can be before, you know, seeking for a way out.
Good advice.
Thank you so much, Jesse. And we really appreciate your time and your thoughts that you shared with us.
Maybe you'll have him back.
And we will have you back.
I'm going to come back and I'm going to meet up with you guys. We're going to have a great barbecue.
We want to meet you.
No, we will have you on the program again. Anyway, so good night for now, and we will talk soon. Thank you kindly.
Thank you,
Good Abend. Good Abend. Good Abend.
Thank you all, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
So
Nice
anyway,
man.
so we have a few more minutes left before
Nice
we
young
get
man.
off air.
Not bad for
I
technical
was very,
difficulties.
very impressed with Jesse.
I
And
have to
tell
admit
you,
I was too.
I love that show. As a matter of fact, there are, I think, one or two more seasons, if I'm correct. And you know what? I said, this man he knows something that I did not know at age 25. You know, and I'm a baby boomer, and it took me pretty much 25 years now to be the person that I am today.
Well, you didn't have the access to all the information.
Exactly.
that is
So
there
this
today.
man, I really believe, is real. He is real.
Keeping it real.
He's keeping it real, and he could be a terrific role model for kids and parents.
Do sports, not drugs.
And because we all need role models. We all need role models, right, Jim?
True.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm really glad, and I just want to explain to our audience, this call was supposed to go through Skype. We had really last-minute difficulties. That's why we got on air a little later than normal, but we were sitting here, we did it, holding the phone to another mic, and it was a little unusual.
Marietta, you can thank me for that.
No, thank you, Jim, because
You're
you have
welcome.
some technical background as well.
That's
savvy,
right.
you know, and thank you also to our
Very
producer,
innovative.
Rich.
Very innovative.
No, I think he's terrific. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
Very much, Jesse.
And Rich, thanks back there.
You know,
behind
and
the
how much
booth.
time do we have left? 2 more minutes. Can we play a little bit of the beautiful music, Love or Illusion, that I picked for you from YouTube? And we're going to sign off, but please enjoy this beautiful piece of music that I picked. And we will see you again November the 4th. November the 4th. The Yankees are almost done with their games, so we will be on almost every week again. But November 4th is our next time. Thank you for tuning in to Live Talk with Marietta. Thank you, Dr. Rich Gillick. Thank you very much, Jim Alfieri.
Thank
you,
you.
Rich, our producer. And thank you, Jesse Meister, for your thoughts and sharing them with us. So enjoy this little piece of music now, and we'll see you soon. Have a great week.